Seagal is wearing a zip-up hooded
Black
sweatshirt with Japanese anime on the back or something.
Yeah.
And he continues to wear that
the whole time. And she's literally has no clothes on. Like, she's just wearing underwear and like some weird robe or something.
He's wearing this. He's fucking 60 or 70 years old and he's wearing this anime hooded sweatshirt. And during this sex scene or whatever the hell it was,
he was just playing patty cake. I swear to God. She was laying on the bed and he was just doing this, and they just kept cutting. They just kept cutting the video of just like moving angles of him patty caking.
I can't help thinking, somewhere in the universe, there has to be something better than man. Has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ascension to 10.
All right, here we are. Back for another one.
Christmas special.
Christmas special-ish. Comes out the week of Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing about today is Christmas related.
No. Well, no. Definitely not the movie. Definitely had
no
no qualities that would say Christmas. But I did something Christmassy today. I did a Santa run. One of those great things that you love, paying people money so you can run on a course.
Outside of public roads.
Yes, they closed off some public roads for us. It was around a community college, Johnson County Community College. And it was rough.
Yeah, because
I haven't run in like 3 months. I probably haven't worked out in like a month, like a real workout. And just got on it and
just went for it, huh?
Just went, turbo burner and just killed it. It was brutal.
How do you feel now?
I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. It's the thing where it's like started running and I was like, okay, this feels pretty good, so I think I'm just gonna go for it. And then by the halfway through, I'm like, this is terrible and I'm gonna die, but I can't bring it to myself to walk. And that's just like
kind of trotting,
just puddle steps.
The equivalent of someone in their 20th mile in a marathon, and you're doing that mile and a half in.
I looked at looking at the results. There was 20 people in my age group just to see, and there was one guy that he ran it 12 minutes faster than I did, and I was like, we only go 3 miles, so 12 minutes is like, holy crap. So
well, hey, either way, I'm proud of you for getting out there and doing it.
It's a kickstart, man.
Completing
I feel like I gotta start doing it more, not necessarily pay for it, but
early 2023 resolution.
Yeah, I'm gonna win that Fat Face Challenge 2.0.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm impressed, man. That's a good contribution to FFC.
Yeah. It was also like 20 degrees outside. When I started running, it was 17 degrees, so it was freezing.
A little chillies out there.
Yeah.
Do you have cold weather running gear, or is it just some sweatshirts and some pants?
I've got some. Yeah, I do have some liner insulated long johns that I wore, so it was fine. But it was
sounds chilly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds chilly. Yeah. Sounds hard. I couldn't have done that. I'd be walking for sure. No. I don't know if I've ever ran 3 miles. Ever.
Oh.
because I was
Sounds
never.
like a challenge. Do you want to do that this week?
Well, okay. That just reminded me of, okay, do you remember? I don't think we've talked about this on the show, but do you remember about 3 years ago or so when I said
The
I
400 meter
yeah.
race?
So, okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Please. I'm glad this came up.
I never ran as a sport or as even as an activity. It was just something I never did. Maybe on the treadmill, I'd run a mile or something before a workout, before lifting weights or something. So it wasn't my jam. And it was just one random night here in Nashville. We were some friends. We were waiting to get pizza. And in this pizza place, there was this TV up in the corner, right?
Yeah.
It looked like one of those old box TVs where it was still, had depth to it.
Yeah.
And they had some kind of college track and field event
going
on.
That's right.
And I was looking at that, waiting for the pizza, and I was looking at the times, and it was, I think, a relay. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the point was that they were timing each lap around the track. And I don't know if it was a meter track or if it was a mile track or what the difference is, or it doesn't really matter. But
yeah,
what I observed was that it was taking these D1 collegiate athletes 60 plus seconds or so to run a lap. And I thought, the lap's not that big. I haven't seen one in a while. I haven't seen a track in a while, but surely he can run faster than that. And so
this is awesome.
This
is amazing.
I sent a text to the group chat and I was like, how fast do you guys think you could run a lap? I think I could run a lap in 45 seconds. And so, immediately everyone's just dogging on me for this is the dumbest take, right? And I thought there's no way I'm wrong about this. I'm right. And so I put this challenge out saying that, all right, everyone, at your respective locations, find a track,
local track.
Go to your local track. Record yourself doing a lap,
because we have to keep this accurate here.
Yeah, record yourself doing a lap, video it, and then post your results. And so, to my surprise, a number of people did it.
Yeah, I did it.
I think it was maybe 4 of us or so.
Yeah, that sounds
this
right.
Thing. The funny thing was, I did it when I went back home to South Dakota. I think that winter, that Christmas or something.
You ran on You ran on the dirt track at your elementary school.
Elementary school.
Well, and not even yours.
Yeah, not mine. No, the Brandon Elementary School. And so I brought special shoes on the trip just for this stupid fucking run. And I got home and I didn't. So my parents live right next to this track, right? And so one day I just said, "Hey, Ma, can you help me out with a little project here?" I didn't tell her anything about what this was about. And she's like, "Yeah, sure." So I said, "Okay, we got to go to the track. You got to film me running a lap, and you also have to stopwatch this thing."
That's awesome.
So it's this whole ordeal about filming me and having the time be in frame, right? And I told her, my whole thing about, I can do this in 45 seconds. I can get off the couch and go do this in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Easy. Under a minute with 100% certainty. Didn't warm up, didn't stretch, didn't do a single thing. We just walked over there. And she's like, okay. And
Here you go.
I just start sprinting, right? I haven't sprinted in maybe ever. Probably.
Your ankles were clicking.
And so, needless to say, right, it wasn't 45 seconds. It wasn't a minute. I don't even think it was a minute 30.
I don't know. We
finished this lap.
I'm like 99% sure we have the results for that.
Yeah.
our little group thing.
Okay. Yeah. If we do, we'll put them up on screen. Because I'm pretty sure Derek Wooters, friend of the show, he did it, and then you for sure did. So the three of us for sure did it.
I did it. I did it at our high school by our old house, and I took my DSLR and I just put it on top of the bleachers, and then I ran down to the track. My daughter was with me, so I started running, and then you see at the end she starts running around with me as I'm trying to finish the race. So,
I think
Things
easily one of my biggest L's in terms of what I said I could do, and just so far away from reality. Just so ridiculous.
What's a bigger L, that or me saying I can touch my knees without bending?
So, okay. So I actually was thinking of that. So
That's on par.
that's on par. Yeah. Spenny's here in the chat saying, I don't know what brought this up, but you were saying that you could touch your knees with your fingertips without bending over. And we all said,
Like lowering your shoulder.
yeah, we all said, no, you
Oh,
can't.
wait.
No, you can't.
I was so confident. I was at the office at work, and I was like, oh, I can totally do this. Like, touching the sides of my pants, thinking, oh yeah, this is not a
Sitting
problem
down,
at all.
right? Sitting down.
Sitting
when
down.
Your knees are directly underneath your hands, right?
Right. And I was like, this is so easy. My hands go past it.
And so we all said, well, fucking prove it then. Go video yourself doing this. And so silence. And then he's like, okay, I've got some time to do it. And then he records the quite possibly the worst quality video I have ever seen. I don't know what was on his lens or something.
It was like seeing Bigfoot, you know. I just
It was like you had scrubbed jelly on the camera or something, and then shot it in black and white with the lights off. And it was in like 3 frames per second. I don't know how that's possible to shoot an iPhone.
I don't know,
a video
man.
like that,
I
an
don't know.
iPhone. But and then the phone fell over midway through. So,
it was a one take.
oh my
One
god!
take. There was no taking
Because
it
as you were setting it up and doing it, I'm sure you realized, holy shit, there's no way.
back. There's no way. It's like halfway up my thigh. You know, it's like, oh shit, this is not gonna work. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, those are maybe comparable L's in that sense. But the other thing, the thing with yours is that everybody else was so certain that it was just nonsense that we didn't feel the need to try and replicate it. But
we felt like we had to prove that. I think you put out like the minute, and I think we all decided, I think we should all try and see if we can do a minute.
Yeah.
Or some of us did.
I mean, I'm glad that it was something that we did, because that was a pretty funny reveal when everybody sent in their videos and times, and just how, I mean, nobody was under a minute, I don't think.
I don't think so. Well,
and
we'll look, but
yeah.
Yep.
But,
funny stuff.
Man. Anyway, so yeah, there's no way I could have completed the Santa run today. So I'm proud of you, buddy.
Would have been an epic fail. Yeah. No, it was good. Probably won't do it too often, but I need to get back in it. So
very nice, very nice. Well, we're both wearing stocking caps. It is the week of Christmas.
It is.
So Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. Actually, it's Hanukkah today or something, right? So if you celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Anything else out there? Wearing hats because it's a bit chilly. And I don't think I've told this story, but this is another story it's a very quick story about this house that we're renting, and the property managers, and just the nonstop saga of living in this place with, it's a nice house, right? We like living here and everything, but interacting with this property management and the HOA has just been so ridiculous. And so we've lived here now for 2.5 years, and we first moved in the summer, mid-July, baking hot Nashville sun, right?
Yep.
And so there's this gas fireplace in the living room. Obviously, never turned it on because it's summer, right? Why would we do that?
Yeah.
And well, when it started getting cold, well, so you've been to our house now, and you see how tall the ceilings are in the living room.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right, because it's a 2-story house, but only half of it is the second story, and the rest is this gigantic vaulted ceiling. Right. And so in the winter time, when we turn the heat on, so there's 2 heat vents at the top of the ceiling where the vault is, right, that point down to the living room.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is all that heat just does a 270-degree turn and goes straight up into the upstairs bedrooms, and
It just roasts you.
it just funnels all that heat up into the upstairs bedrooms. Zero heat. There isn't a single molecule of hot air that makes it to the 10-foot mark above the living room.
Right.
And so it gets chilly. It gets baking, boiling hot up in the bedrooms, freezing cold down here. Might as well not even have the heat on downstairs. Oh, well, there's this gas fireplace. Flip a light switch, turns on. Oh, that must kind of be the solution for how these, whoever designed this house and the HVAC or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so first winter we turn it on, and so this kind of heats it up. I guess it's kind of nice, little ambiance there. And we start noticing this kind of, my allergies get crazy right away, and there's this it kind of just smells like gas, and it's like,
this isn't right.
I need to turn this off or something. So, and then we noticed later that along the wall of where this fireplace is, there's just soot marks or something. There's just black streaks going up the wall and angling up the vaulted ceiling and stuff. And And at one point we had someone come out and clean out the air vents and stuff, and remove pollen and dust and dirt from the previous tenants or whatever. And I was talking to him about it, and he said, I asked him, do you think this is clogged? Can you do anything with this fireplace and stuff? And he goes, oh, I don't know, just talk to your property manager. It's like, all right, you try. So we ended up calling them because we'll try to turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, right? And it does provide heat. So the thing is it works as intended in terms of heating up the downstairs.
Yeah. Just smells,
and it makes my allergies go nuts. And so we contact the property manager, and we say, I think someone needs to come out and service the fireplace, or at least can you recommend a company that you trust that we can call?
Yeah.
And the only response was, because we listed that fact that it smells like gas and that there's soot on the walls. Mm-hmm. The only response was, oh, we consider the fireplace to be a fire hazard and do not recommend that our tenants use the fireplace. And so actively telling us to not use the fireplace, which is the only comparable source of heat for the downstairs at all. And to call a gas fireplace a fire hazard is, I haven't looked up Tennessee tenants occupancy leasing codes, but I'm pretty sure that you have to provide adequate, safe. You have to provide a safe dwelling, right?
You should offer. You should ask them in lieu of the fireplace working. You should just see if they'll just attach some dryer vents and just drop those all over. Giant tubes from the ceiling.
The crinkly ones that
you can put a string on it, so when you guys are sitting on the couch, you can just pull it over, so you can have direct.
Just make some Rube Goldberg kind of machine to heat the house. Brilliant.
Yeah, in case you need some options.
That's a great option. And it's more help than fucking
Doing nothing.
Property man
Getting
just
nothing.
told us, turn it off. Don't turn the heat on. Well, the thing is, they say
It's a fire hazard.
yeah. I got an email today. I got an email today saying, cold weather expected. Make sure you open up all the cupboards so that the pipes don't freeze behind the cupboards and stuff, and then set your heat to at least 68, no less than 68 degrees. Well, when we do that, the upstairs, no joke, becomes like 80 degrees, unlivable.
Yeah, unlivable.
So we have to keep it at like 65, 66.
Yeah.
Just so that the upstairs isn't insane.
Well, hold on. Like, all the pipes in your house would be on the inside, anyways,
Yeah.
because they're connected. You have a
Yeah.
connection.
We have 0 pipes on the outside walls.
Wait a minute. Does not apply.
It's just so,
Anyways,
it's just so stupid.
that's a typical day.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of a typical day. It's been a minute. But
Yeah.
it's like the siding people, the painters, and now this fireplace stuff.
Oh my gosh.
The siding people ripped up all the, not all, but several of our screens on our windows.
Oh yeah.
Keep in mind, they're not our screens. They're not our windows, right? We didn't ask for these, the siding to be done, right? And so we told the property people that the screens were damaged during the installation. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll get those replaced. Literally not once have we heard anything from them. We told the HOA the people left this huge piece of house wrap stuck in the tree right next to our house, and it's just this gigantic piece of white plastic just stuck in the tree. And we told the HOA nothing. Meanwhile, we can't touch a bush. We can't trim a twig off a bush without the HOA freaking out. They're just cool with this gigantic tarp hanging out of a tree.
That's crazy. That's hilarious.
Anyways, so
well, man,
point being, it's a little chilly down here, so I got to wear a little hat.
Yeah, got it. I'm just wearing my it fitted my running outfit with my new shirt. So that
let's go. You got some swag.
Says I'm a finished participant. It literally
you got a participation shirt.
Yeah.
How much did that shirt
2022
cost?
finisher. Thank you.
Finisher.
It says I'm a finisher. Whatever. Anyways,
let's go.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time we just get into this movie.
Yeah, this is something else.
This is
something else,
buddy. Jad and I usually don't talk too much about the movies like ahead of time, but I watched it and I sent him a message, be like, just buckle up, bud. This is a wild ride. This is this movie.
This is a ride through just complete mediocrity at best. And just little to no attempts to make sense, to be entertaining, to be engaging. I think I told Spenny that this is a who cares movie, because he was telling me he was having trouble looking up stats or information.
Yeah, usually I can find tidbits and stuff on it, and there's literally like I found one. Like I found like ancillary stuff. Like this will just encapsulate what this movie is. So one of the reviews from this James Dennis from Twitch Films wrote, "Why does he still bother when he clearly can't be bothered?" That is what this movie is. I mean,
no one on this set gave a shit the entire time they were filming this.
There is a scene where there's a shootout, and like one of the bad guys has to jump behind a bar, and then all of a sudden you just see him falling behind the bar, but then all of a sudden you see bullet holes subtract and go away. Where did they go?
It's like they messed up or something and had to like just have something be in reverse and just splice it in with the scene.
Yeah, but he was still falling backwards. That's what the part that didn't make any sense.
Maybe they filmed it one way where he went over. Where they filmed it 2 takes, where he went over one way and then the other way.
Yeah,
and then they had bullet holes assigned to some of them. They're like, oh, who cares?
I mean, one thing that was this is a Born to Raise Hell from 2010. It's a Steven Seagal movie. He's the producer, writer, and actor in it.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah. And I didn't know this, but he's been in almost 200 films. And he's made like 1 to 4 films every single year since he started making films in 1974. And it's just like, what are you making? Like, what is this?
To put this in context, this is like Tremor 6, A Cold Day in Hell, to a whole other level of just, this is like where Tremor 6 was the 6th installment in a series.
Yeah.
It makes sense now what Spenny's saying. And this is like installment 178 in his series because they're all the same
guy.
It's just, so it's just, who cares about this?
Yeah, there is a character and his name's Dimitri in this film, and I was trying to see if there's anything noteworthy on any of these other actors that are in it. Dimitri is best known for some movie called Teenage Space Vampires from 1999. And I was like, well, at least that sounds interesting. Oh, man.
Should we put that on the list?
Maybe. It is sci-fi, so this wasn't. Well, kind of. I don't know. Just to give a little rundown. So somehow he got a budget for $5 million on this film back in 2010. 29 cast, 92 crew. Whole thing was shot in Romania. They filmed it all in 3 weeks.
That makes sense.
So, and it was shot on red camera. So,
thought that was kind of
fun. Those opening credits, they had Steamroll Productions, and I was like, this isn't good. And then they had Voltage, which I hadn't heard of Voltage, but then I looked them up, and they did Hurt Locker, and they did one other one that had like Academy Awards and stuff. So it's like a legit production company, but I've never heard of Steamroll Productions. So
their one and only installment.
Yeah, there must be. I did write a synopsis for this. I was not going to, just because I was like, why? But we'll try this, and then we can talk a little bit more about it. All right. Robert Samuel is down on his luck. His partner died 6 months ago, and he has to get a new one. He's in charge of catching drug and gun traffickers in Romania, and it's a tough business. Luckily, Robert doesn't give one fuck about the job. He is constantly making side deals with criminals, trying to get to the top drug trafficking boss, Dimitri. But once he gets to Dimitri, he learns he needs to make another deal so he can get the real baddie, Costel. This all occurs while hot chicks are dancing around randomly. Film is reversed, and the same naked chick drinking a beer twice in 4 minutes. There's literally a scene of a girl grabbing a beer bottle, tilting it up, drinking it, and then putting it down, and then like 2 minutes later, the exact same one, doing the exact same thing.
Holy smokes. Very nice.
Where do you start with this? I don't even know.
Well, one of my first notes is, okay, so this is a movie where there's this opening scene, and then it's, I guess, what would be considered the present. And then the whole movie takes place 2 weeks before that. So there's this opening action scene where Seagal walks into this bar, tells the bartender with a shotgun to his face, asks where this guy Costel is. And the bartender's like, "Hey, you got a warrant?" doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
No reaction. And Seagal just calls people bitch so many times in this movie. He says, the guy says, "Where's your fucking warrant?" And Seagal, without lifting the gun, shotgun, or anything, he's just kind of casually holding it. He says, "This is my fucking warrant, bitch. You're coming with me." And then the bartender says, "Sorry, can't you read?" Without any reference to anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There's no reference to a sign or the fact that this is some kind of known stronghold gangster thing. It's just a random line that he says before he gets shot and dies.
Yep.
But
then it's like right after that, there's kind of like a start of a shootout where some bad guys come in, and then it cuts to like the title sequence. And like this title sequence is just random like clips of, like money and people counting money and cocaine. And then there's like half naked women dancing around. And then there's some fire breathers at one point. And this thing takes like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah. It's like, the runtime's 138 and they're like, let's run this as long as we can.
Yeah. So that opening gun battle with Seagal sets the tone for the entire rest of the movie, because did you notice every single time Seagal shoots a gun, he's closing his eyes. He's like, pew, pew, pew. He doesn't have his eyes open once when he's shooting the gun.
Why the shotgun though? Like why the shotgun? It's not useful in 90% of this movie. There's one scene where guy has a shot. The 2 guys have shotguns, and they're like, people are like 3 floors up, and it's like, what are you doing with this shotgun?
It's also just unlimited ammo with this thing too. To the point where he has the shotgun, and he gets to this vault door, and his solution is to shoot out the wall around the door. Just shoot out to make just holes around the door so that the door falls in, all with a shotgun without reloading a single time.
Good.
So
it's amazing.
Yeah. So
there's the part. So after that, it like talks about, it starts to give you like 2 weeks back, and then it starts talking about the international drug task force that he's on. So he's based in Romania, and he lost his previous partner 6 months ago, and it took him 6 months to get a new one. Sorry. And his like girlfriend or something calls him, who's like 22, and she's like upset about him not coming, or he hasn't been at home for a few days. And then they hang up, and then he just says, "Believe that shit?" And then just walks
to
away.
No one. To the camera, essentially.
Believe that shit?
Oh my God. So, okay. His new partner arrives, right? He's from America, I guess. And he has a suitcase.
Steve.
And immediately, so he arrives at the station. And now keep in mind, so Seagal kind of introduced this IDTAF, or whatever, as each representative nation in, I don't know, the world or something. Who cares?
Yeah, the Western world.
They sent their top agent. So this task force, this police force in Romania is comprised of the best drug enforcement agents from every single country, right?
Yep.
He says that. Okay. So the new guy arrives, and he has a suitcase, right? Fresh off the plane or something.
Yeah.
Hasn't even been to a house. He arrives at the station, and then the person behind the desk or some other partner says, "Okay, yeah, they have a warrant, so you're gonna have to go meet Bobby at the sting or whatever."
Yeah.
Or the arrest. And so this partner's been there for 5 minutes, and he's getting put on this assignment of they're raiding a house, right?
Yeah, this
We're
is
gonna go
this is
raid a
the
house.
this is the scene where you see the girl drinking the beer twice.
Yeah. And so there's a part of the story is now where the main bad guy, Castell, is robbing this house, and these scenes are happening simultaneously. So they're robbing this house, and then Bobby and his team are arriving at this other house to catch some drug dealers with a milligram of coke or something, right?
Right.
And so it's framed as though maybe they're going to catch the other guys or something, because the drug dealers that they're going to go catch are doing nothing. They're just high or something and drinking beer, like Spenny said.
Yeah.
They're doing nothing.
Yeah, they're doing nothing.
And they show up, and it's this full blown raid of cops.
There's like 10 cops.
There's 10 cops.
There's 4 people in there.
Yeah. And so the new guy, they bust the door in, right? And the new cop, rolls in and has, pointing his gun and stuff down the hallway. And he says, "Get down! Everyone get down!" to a completely empty hallway. There's literally nobody there. And they kept that in. "Get out! Get on the floor! Let me see your hands!" No one.
Yeah, well, there's one person that's like, "Let me see your hands," and then the girl that was drinking the beer just drops some stuff, and then you see her boobs, and then she just gets flat on the bed, and it's like, like she's just like this, and then just falls onto on her chest.
So, okay,
but then this is the part. So Seagal is somehow there's 10 policemen, but Seagal's by himself with 2 bad guys. All the other cops are, where are they? I have no idea.
Yep.
And it's just the Seagal show. Like, has Seagal ever been hit in a Seagal movie?
That's the thing. He does, kind of, martial arts, because he's known for these martial arts stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then the whole approach is that the people just run to him, and he just kind of slaps them up.
Yeah.
And he never takes a hit. He never has to move more than an inch one way. And it's just kind of, and he,
and this, yeah.
And then there's this one guy under the bed, and he freaks out at this new cop,
God,
Steve, his new partner, for just being negligent on the job. Right?
Yeah.
"I thought you said this was clear. You didn't look under the bed, bitch."
He comes after he fights those 2 guys. He comes into the room, and he's like,
Yeah.
Why did she have cuffs on her?
Why did you have cuffs on? You can't tell me you didn't look under the bed.
Yeah.
And so
I'm telling you, this guy literally talks like a whispering Donald Trump. I don't know how else to explain it. Like the way he talks, the way he sounds.
Sure. And so, okay, this starts what then becomes a theme for the rest of the movie between Seagal and Steve, is that Seagal just keeps talking to him like he's a kid, like a rookie cop, right? Steve is mid-40s at youngest, right?
He's obviously been in there for a long time, very well trained, but
right. And Seagal keeps calling him kid, and at one point later, he says, "If you want to be a real cop someday, you gotta, look up, keep your eyes sharp and stuff." Now, again, as we discussed a little bit ago, everyone there is the best agent from each country, right? And Seagal is treating him like he's never been at a drug deal before or a drug bust before.
The guy literally just got off the plane, so he's probably jet lagged and all sorts of stuff. And he's just thrown into some random ass raid. He's like, "I don't know this place." Then,
so
he's also the guy that's in charge of the ram thing. I noticed that. The newbie gets the ram though.
Yeah. Well, so did you notice that at one point? Okay, so keeping on the theme of the fact that he's been here for a minute, right? New country.
Yeah.
All he has is a suitcase that he left at the station, right? At one point, they're driving around in this Jeep, and they have
always has to be American car,
tiny little red and blue flashing lights.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, I got the note. I have notes on this. It looks like they just went to Napa Auto Parts and got a couple lights, put it on the dash.
And so they pull over this boss, this Russian,
Dmitri.
just boss, Dmitri, right? Which he's driving his Mercedes alone, and that's the only time that you ever see him drive in the movie. The rest of the time he's getting chauffeured around because he's crazy rich and stuff. But he just happened to go on a drive by himself, and they knew about it somehow.
They're just waiting for him.
And they pull him over. They arrest him, and he does this thing where he bashes his head, Dmitri. He bashes his head into the window, breaks it so that there's evidence that police brutality or something. And Seagal says something like,
"You're gonna have to clean that up or something."
Yeah, he says, God, where is it? Or whatever. He says, dang, he's gonna get blood all over your car.
He just got there.
How does he have a car there? What?
And it's not like
That
these
makes no
cars are
sense.
new. It's not like any of these cars are new. It was like a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It wasn't anything. And then he's tooling around in a Ford Excursion, just black Ford Excursion.
Oh man, he's gonna get blood all over your car seats. Why he called it your car? I don't know. It's clearly the police station's car or something. Who cares? Yeah. But
well, before they get Dmitri, I did want to talk about. So there's a scene where they're at this park, and it's between Castell and Dmitri, and Dmitri is just sitting playing chess by himself, and Castell comes over, and Dimitri's like, "You're late." He's like, "Sorry, had trouble in the neighborhood." And then he just raises his hand, like,
he's like, fist.
"Come here." And then all of a sudden you see a car kind of rev up and starts driving towards them. And then these two girls get out, and they have paper grocery bags, and they hand it over to the head boss. And before the head boss even opens it, and I can't remember if he even like actually grabbed it or not. He's like, "You're missing some. It's a little light."
I know.
Like,
yeah.
And then he waves his fingers over it. And then another lady comes in with a backpack off the side.
I know.
And then just hands him, Castell, more drugs to sell. It's just like, what's
so
up with the finger gestures?
Convoluted. Because, okay, I can maybe see separating the boss from the drugs, right? Maybe the other person, the henchman gets caught or something, so the boss is free and clear. Okay. But why is there a need to have the cash in a separate car? Right? Castell drives up with his own car, parks next to Dimitri's car, but then they meet in the park. They go back to the cars. Other car drives up with the cash. The other car is just there to drive the money.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just made no sense. There were so many people involved in this trading of drugs and money.
Yeah.
And so now it's Castell needs to find more money, right? He's short.
Yeah.
So he's motivated.
Yeah. And that turns out Castell, his whole thing is he gets these pretty women and sends them internationally with drugs strapped to him, and they bring back the money.
Seems
Sounds
like
easy.
Pretty easily. It's the most absurd. Yeah, there's just drugs strapped to the outside of their bodies, right? Yeah. And then they wear clothes. That's the whole drug trafficking operation. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, so one of these like low henchmen that drives a motorcycle and does drug drop-offs is talking to Steven Seagal in the police station, and he's just literally telling him the entire hierarchy of this group and like who's in charge of what. Like he knows everything. Mm-hmm. And Seagal's like, "Oh man, this guy's gonna be valuable. We gotta get this thing signed so he can get back on the streets and see if we can pin this Dmitri down."
I know.
Let's follow him.
So it was the laziest attempt at an information sting possible, because this is the guy that they showed up to his house in the first raid thing that Steve got all chewed out for.
Yeah.
Right. And during this scene, this guy, I can't even remember his name, but
Soren,
he tries to flee by getting on his dirt bike and just flooring it, which was just in the living room. And he
He's literally
floors it.
inside it.
He's surrounded by cops. He gets on his motorbike, just hammers on the throttle, does a wheelie into the wall, and crashes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not making this up either.
No,
There was a
it was
motorcycle in the living room.
ridiculous.
Wheelies into the wall, and they catch him.
Yeah.
And then, but what was unclear is that there was literally no information about why they were going to this house in the first place. It was Steve shows up. Hey, they got the warrant. Go meet Bobby at the arrest.
Yeah.
And then they're just arresting this guy with they didn't even know who Dimitri was. They didn't know who Costell was. They had no information. They just arrested a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And then we're all like, hey, do you know anything about Dimitri? And at this point,
yeah.
the audience knew about Dimitri and Costell, but there was no connection in the narrative that Seagal had any information about it. And
well, immediately after he gets that information from this guy, he hands him a piece of paper, which is supposed to be some sort of like,
you're a deputy now.
you're a deputy now. And like, he's supposed to show Dimitri that as like act of good faith.
I don't know. I think it was that he was arrested, but then released, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bond paper or something.
Okay. So then the guy Zoran or something shows up at the same park where Dimitri's playing chess by himself.
Yeah, there's all the henchmen around.
He says, yeah, I want some more drugs to sell because I'm back in the game. I got to get more money.
Yeah, I owe you.
Dimitri's like, drug deals happen every other Tuesday, so you're kind of early. And Zordon is like,
see you in a couple days.
I'm I want it now. I'm good for it. I need, work hard, play hard. You can't have the money without working hard, And he makes some dumb comment like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
like working hard.
Yeah.
You earn stuff by working hard. And meanwhile, Seagal and Steve are in an obvious surveillance truck right next door, right? Just chilling. That they make immediately.
Well, yeah, they literally they leave the police station with this thing parked right in front of the police station. So if this Dimitri had anybody watching the police station, they'd be like, "Oh, here comes the police in their surveillance van."
And so so the Zordon gets there, and Dimitri says, "Well, I heard something pretty darn interesting that you got arrested by the drug police yesterday." And he goes, yeah, they caught me. They busted me. But I got out. And Dimitri says, well, we might be able to talk business and, do some drug dealers if they, actually have your paperwork saying that you were at jail and they let you out of jail. So you're gonna have to bring me that paperwork. And he just pulls it out of his pocket immediately. It's like, oh, I have that right here. And why?
Don't know.
Why in either case?
Why would he trust him anyways? It's like,
why?
He just got arrested.
What? What high level drug lord wants to see bail papers or whatever?
Let me see that bail papers, baby.
Story.
Something's not adding up here.
Something's not adding up.
Oh, you got your bail papers? All right, let's go.
All right, I trust you now. And then for Zordon to just have him, I was expecting this. I knew you were going to ask me about these papers because that's how we do it in Romania. It's just fucking why?
No idea. It's ridiculous.
And then at the end of all that, Dimitri says, well, again, drugs go out on Tuesday. So, this is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Come back another day. Right.
Yeah. No, and then the whole time during this too, people are whistling.
Yeah.
Like whistling, like to come over and like talking. And then right before he leaves, like he has a red dot on his head.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah. Cause he's like, no, I really want to do this. Right. And
laser point on him.
Yeah. Dimitri says, no, get out of here. Right. And then to prove the point, he has one of his henchmen in the bushes has a sniper rifle on him. But
he doesn't see it. He wouldn't know.
The thing is, this sniper laser pointer dot is on his forehead, and all of a sudden Zerdek reacts to it.
Yeah.
As if he can see it.
Okay, so they're gonna put a laser on your forehead. You gotta be like, holy crap.
Oh, okay, I'll leave.
Holy.
And then meanwhile, Steve and Seagal are in their just
spot's
van,
about to get blown up.
just watching this all go down, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the top henchmen peers into the glass and smirks, right? She peers into a van with 2 cops in it, and they're like, busted. Dang. And then they get out and they're like, well, you got us. Better luck next time for us.
Yeah.
And then they, we're going to just
Seagal
kill them in
suit.
broad daylight. So then Seagal does this, thing and just...
Well, the best part too is so Seagal like totally like knocks out the first guy and then starts working on like the other 3. But then that first guy, I think, gets back up, and then he and Steve are fighting. But like, when Seagal hit him the first time, the dude looked like he literally had been knocked out. And then all of a sudden, Steve is over here just
getting strangled,
with him,
right?
hustling with him, fighting as hard as he can. And Seagal is just, Seagaling, just destroying these guys, never gets touched.
And at one point, he kicks one of these guys in the nuts so hard that he goes flying backwards.
Yeah.
I think it was the one thing that they had rope stunt work for. And they used it in broad daylight in a park.
Yeah.
So that he could go flying when he got kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
And so, okay.
I'm trying to think
that
what happens now.
I think this is where then they get to Dimitri later, right? They show up in the Jeep and arrest him and stuff. And I think
this is the part where like he knocks his head out.
Yeah.
But we kind of jumped to that.
Yeah. But then it's just like, okay, that was a hard day's work. And so then it's just this scene where Seagal and his girlfriend finally get time to be together.
Oh my
gosh. They go to a restaurant and they just sit down, right? And then he's like
sweet talking the waitress like he has dated her or something.
Yeah.
Like
beauty,
honey.
And so then two random thugs walk in and they're like, hey, remember us? You put us in jail. And he said, yeah, I did. And then instantly they, Seagal trashes the place with these guys.
Yeah.
And it's this things where there's glass shelving in the corner. Specifically there just to be shattered. By these bodies.
And so giant glass display.
Seagal walks in with his girlfriend. They sit down. He starts fighting everyone, trashes the place, and then they leave.
He's like, this is why I don't like going out to eat.
Yeah, this sucks. What a stupid idea. So
one of the other things I think he says at this dinner restaurant is he says Dimitri's in custody awaiting trial. He was like the scene before that is Dimitri is home already. Yeah. He's already been out of jail and he's plotting the next thing, which was to kill this Soren guy. Like he goes to prison because he got busted by those 2 cops, breaks out or gets his bond. Mm-hmm. And then Seagal is talking about him being in custody awaiting trial. And I was like, he's not in custody. What are you talking about? And then it leads to this most ridiculous, weird sex scene with Steven Seagal.
Okay, I got to paint the picture of this sex scene, right? It's the next morning, right? And he's all apologetic. He's like, hey, I'm sorry about last night. It's like the nature of the job and stuff. And she says, that's why I love you, right? And okay.
Nobody's as important as you. She's like, don't say that. You always put your work ahead of me.
I never see you and stuff, but okay. I love you anyways. But okay, what you have to just picture is that Seagal is wearing a zip-up hooded sweatshirt with Japanese anime on the back or something.
Yeah.
And he continues to wear that
the whole time. And she literally has no clothes on. Like she's just wearing underwear and like some weird robe or something.
He's wearing this. He's fucking 60 or 70 years old and he's wearing this anime hooded sweatshirt. And during this sex scene or whatever the hell it was.
He was just playing patty cake. I swear to God. She was laying on the bed and he was just doing this, and they just kept cutting. They just kept cutting the video of just like moving angles of him patty caking.
But it was all blurry and stuff, right? Yeah. Oh my God.
It's not like they were kissing or anything. It was just like hands touching. And I was like, what is this? This is weird.
This is when I saw the sweatshirt, I knew for sure that I had this just without a doubt inkling, especially the rest of his clothes, which is that overly long leather coat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not a duster, but it's just too long to be a normal leather coat. I don't think there was a wardrobe department. I think everybody showed up to work in whatever clothes they had.
Oh, that might be.
That just was his Sunday sweatshirt that he wore that day.
There was one person in the costume design department, so there was one person that had to dress all those people. So
I think that person just told everybody, just show up, just come to work,
bring your Sunday best with your leathers.
Yeah. But anyway. But
anyways, after that weird thing,
so now they want to get to Costello because there's this murder and stuff, and they think that Dimitri has information about Costello, because they assume that Costello sells Dimitri's drugs. They don't know that, they never say that. And it's just kind of this weird thing where the audience obviously knows what the deal is.
More what's going on.
You never get any information about the actual characters knowing that.
Yeah.
And so, at one point, this next scene starts where they're back at the cop shop, and it's this crazy, crazy, intense music, cop drama, intense music.
Yeah.
Like something's going to happen. There's strings, slightly changing pitch, and you think it's leading towards something. And the whole time it's just this other random cop that's in this one scene drinking coffee.
Yeah.
It doesn't lead
French guy,
anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. It's a super tense buildup, and he's literally just drinking coffee. And then this scene ends and you never see that guy again. But he's, I guess, some kind of, what does he even do? I don't remember. Is
this the one with the mayor? I don't even know.
Honestly, I don't.
Honestly, after the only thing I remember after that weird scene is this is when Steve is like, "Oh, just so you guys know, I've got a baby coming in a month." And Seagal's like,
"What do you want, a trophy?
Are you serious? Why did you even mention it? Like,
do you want a trophy, kid?"
Cool. Yeah.
And so,
but then from there on, he gets treated like he's having a kid. So he's like, "I'm going to put you on the back."
Okay, on this next raid. Okay, so this sets up well. They think that they know about someone they can get to Costello through this other guy. This guy called Adrian. He's this other cog in the wheel, and they are outlining this next sting, right? Mm-hmm. And they say, all right, here's what we know. We know for absolute sure that Adrian is going to be doing a drop today. The only problem is we don't know what he looks like or who he is. We don't know where it's happening. Everybody good? Any questions?
That's about right.
They literally say we don't know what he looks like or where he is. And so this sets up.
They just show up at the same apartment complex.
Yeah, this exact same building, right? So, okay, before this raid starts, after, as Spenny said, that Steve said, I'm going to be a dad. And so Seagal says, "Hey, I'm putting you on rear guard today." And Steve says, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah.
And then he says,
serious?
Are you serious? And Seagal says, "Yeah, shut up, bitch."
Shut up, bitch.
Okay, so he says you're going to be on rear guard. I shit you not, Spenny. Did you see the fact that Steve is the first person in that building?
Yeah. He's the ram guy. That's my whole point.
He's the ram guy, and he goes in first. You know how you ram, and then that person that rams like gets out of the way because that's their job. And
yeah,
Steve rams and then goes in first after just being told he's going to be on rear guard.
Yeah,
and he's the first person to shoot a gun.
Slight oversight,
house.
you know. Yeah, it's just this big shootout. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
A bunch of people get shot at. It's a terrible shootout. People are missing and all this other stuff. And
Seagal's closing his eyes. Right?
Yeah, turns out one of the guys is calling Castell to let them know that they're being attacked by the police. Castell just happens to drive by and is like super pissed off that they got his supply. So then he drives away, and then all of a sudden he comes back flying down the block, and all the guys in his car just shooting all the police and stuff, and they kill whatever henchman they captured, Adrian or whatever his name was. But it was like Seagal gets shot. They like specifically point that out, that Seagal got shot. And it's in the vest. And they're like, "You got shot?" And he points. Yeah, vest got it.
I totally missed that part.
That's all he does. He just taps on his chest like, "Yeah, vest got
God.
it." And so then it turns out that Dimitri and Castell are not on good terms, and there's this big, meet up at Castell's place. And
does it make any sense to you that Dimitri is this top level Russian gangster mobster? He makes drugs in his basements, sells them, kills everybody. He gets all indignant about the fact that one of his drug sellers is somebody that rapes and murders people.
Yeah.
He says, "I heard some really disturbing things about you.
Yeah.
And if I ever find out they're true, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
What difference does it make to someone like that? I don't get it.
That part didn't make any sense. I mean, like, so suddenly this drug dealer is like compassionate. The only thing they can use to make him seem compassionate is the fact that he has a wife and kid, son.
Yeah. So, okay. So Castell gets all pissed off about being put in his place in his own house. And so, because again, he's the fact that they raided Adrian made him short again for Dimitri.
Yeah.
And so now that they got to find 50 G's in less than 24 hours to satisfy Dimitri, or else Dimitri's going to kill him. Right.
Yeah.
And so his master plan was just to go steal the money from Dimitri and kill Dimitri. So Costello and his crew go and raid Dimitri's house. And they do so. They start out this journey so Castell has this nightclub or something, which is what Spenny was describing, where it's just these women just dancing around at most times for nobody. This place is empty most of the time.
Yeah, there's no stage. There's a stage and they're just dancing, and they just kind of like intertwine that throughout the whole film of just random girls dancing on a stage.
And so they start out this raid by walking. So now it's night, and now there's people there, but they start this journey on this raid by just walking through that giant crowd of people.
Yeah.
He owns the place, right? He says, they just go out the back door, right?
Right.
Why walk through the entire crowd of people
idea.
With all the guns and stuff?
But this is the part where they load up on all their guns and stuff, and then they're going to Dimitri's house.
Yeah.
And Dimitri's house has one security guard.
Dimitri has about 50 people around him at the park when he's playing chess alone, but he leaves nobody at his house with his wife and kid.
Yeah, with his wife and kid. There's one guy that watches the gate, which immediately when he sees somebody having trouble is opening that gate and right out the gate. You got car trouble?
Yeah. So then they go in
that's how they get in. They get in because they plant this girl that looks like she has car trouble. Like, he would have seen them driving up. That's the part I don't understand. But
honestly,
anyways.
I missed all of that. I did not see how they got in the house.
Yeah.
And that makes even less sense.
But then they're looking for nobody in the house. They can't find anybody in Dimitri's house. And then they get to the kids' room, and there's all these like
Stuffed animals.
Stuffed animal. Thank you. And then they start taking him off, and then there's the son and daughter, or son and mom, and they're like, "Where's Dimitri?" And they're like, "He's not here. What do you want from us?" And I think they like try to rough up the mom, and then she slaps one of the guys, and then his immediate response is to just shoot her.
Yep.
Just like, right in front of this kid, and you're just like, "What's happening?"
And
it
then,
was super intense.
Yeah. And then
way more intense than it needed to be.
Yeah. And so then Dimitri goes back and tells all his henchmen to go back, and then they, there's a shootout and they leave.
Yep.
Whatever. And so now Dimitri comes to Seagal and says,
"This is where he makes his deal.
All right, if I tell you where Castell is, you got to let me kill his other henchman, bro, who killed my wife."
Yeah, his name's Dada.
Dada. Now, does it make any sense that with a person with this guy's means and army that he has, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would he want some cop's help? What difference does that make?
Because he's Steven Seagal.
He has honor.
Yeah.
But okay.
But he doesn't. Like, he's as crooked as like gum. That's the whole point of this whole movie.
The opening line is Seagal saying to the audience, "Evil exists in every man. While some try to contain it, I embrace it." So he's saying that he's evil, right? That's what that means.
Yes.
All right. And so, okay, but the scene at the cop station though is just so ridiculous because
it's crazy.
Seagal
we can't talk about it here.
Oh, okay. We forgot the fact that what you were describing earlier about the bullet holes disappearing.
Oh, yeah.
Seagal and Steve randomly show up to Castell's club. How they found out about this makes no sense.
Well, that's the part that doesn't make sense because Dimitri's like, "I'm going to let you know. I'll call you. Call this number." And then they never call. And then all of a sudden, he goes over to Costello's place.
You're skipping ahead a bit.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
They raid Costello's, right? And then Steve dies.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then so
the bullet holes.
Steve dies. The bullet holes go and then they appear and then they disappear, right?
Okay, can we talk about Steve dying real quick then?
Yeah.
Because Steve is dying. Homie Seagal grabs the thing. It's like, we need med. We need med. There's no response. There's nothing. And he's like, "We need med." And then he puts it down like, "You just hold on there." And he just walks away.
He hands him in a napkin.
His jugular is just cut open.
Been shot out. He hands him a napkin and says, "Strong pressure there." And
he walks away.
He kind of trots away to go get Castell. So Seagal can't hit anything in this movie, right? Which is apparent because he closes his eyes every time he shoots, right?
Yes.
Keep that in mind for later, for the end of the movie, right? He cannot hit anything. Castell is 5 feet away from him on a ladder, not shooting back at him. And rather than just aiming at Castell and shooting him, he's just bang, 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 all around on the ladder, and it's pinging off and stuff. So Castell gets away. Steve dies because obviously his jugular was literally shot out.
Yeah.
So he's obviously dead. Okay. Now it gets back to the cop shop because Seagal comes back and the other, I guess their third partner / friend is like,
it's not good, man.
You didn't tell anybody that you guys were going to Castell's. And now we have an agent that's dead and the head administrators want to talk to you because you're not doing anything by the book. And so, quite frankly, I kind of want some answers too because I don't want to die. And so, okay, so the other guy says, "Look, you're going to be in some hot water here, right? Yeah. So just prepare." And he says, "Okay, I'll meet them in my office." Okay, and so this conversation that Seagal is having with these what would essentially be internal affairs type people for this international drug task force. he's saying, "You guys haven't caught anybody. You've done nothing. Why are there no more agents out here?" And it's just him chewing them out,
Yeah.
right? In his office. And so
Big open space. There's no actual office. It's just
Dimitri comes in the middle of this, and this third partner says, "Wait here." And he goes over to Seagal. "Hey, Dimitri's here to see you." "Send him in." Okay, so then it pans out a little bit wider so you see what his office is. It's him at a kid's table by the staircase, completely in the open. His desk is literally a coffee table at his knees.
It's ridiculous. God.
The lobby. And so Dimitri comes to the cop shop, and they're at the station saying, "Hey, if I tell you where Castell is, you need to look the other way while I kill Dada. I know you're going to kill Castell."
Yeah.
And he says, "That's very interesting. Maybe you should give me some more information." And then he leaves.
Yeah.
And he comes back to his house. This is Dimitri now. He's back at his compound, pacing around the drug den. And his henchmen walk in and he says, "You better tell me exact GPS coordinates of when and where Castell is going to be." And they tell him, "We kind of know where someone he knows might be." He says, "Good enough."
It is.
And so they have the information, right? They haven't told him. Dimitri immediately pulls out his phone and starts texting him the information of when and where to meet.
Yeah.
They never tell him. And so then they meet. It's dark. Seagal gets out of the car and says, "Look, you're kind of a gangster and I'm a cop. So we shouldn't be seen together. Understand?" Okay. Now it's night out when he's saying this.
Yeah.
But he's saying, "You're a
wide in the
gangster.
open.
I'm a cop. We shouldn't be seen together." And then for the rest of the movie, they're in every scene together. Especially
Like,
at the end credits.
Yeah, Seagal goes up for he shoots the door out, and then all of a sudden Dimitri's in lobbing grenades, and then they are just two thickest thieves together. Like Seagal shotguns the door out, gets stuck behind a couch, and then all of a sudden Dimitri comes flying in and just fucking flings a grenade.
This is just a random apartment.
Yeah.
Right. In the middle of the city, right? And so then people get away, right? And Castell, or no, it's Dada that they're after, right? Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're going after Dada.
The whole thing was to get Dada.
Yeah.
And so Dada escapes.
Once I get to him,
Okay.
And then so
now
Dada
they're in a park.
Yeah.
And now this is where I was saying before, it's really important that you keep in mind the fact that Seagal to this point hasn't shot anybody. He hasn't made contact with a bullet that he shot with anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Throughout the movie. And he's shooting at Dada. And Dimitri's all like, "Hey, listen, remember our deal. He's mine." And he says, he finally lands a shot. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Seagal says, "Don't worry, I'm just trying to slow him down." And he lands this perfect shot into his leg or something.
Yeah, right in his leg.
Like exactly where he intended it to go, just to slow him down so Dimitri could go get him.
Yeah.
And before this, he had made a single connection with the bullet.
Yeah. Amazing. So this is where Dimitri catches up to Dada, and Dada's just laying on the floor because he's bleeding out on his leg, and Dimitri takes his ponytail out, and
he takes his ponytail out
and then he gets shot.
Some assassin. Yeah.
Yeah, he takes his ponytail and immediately gets shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And
his ponytail, by the way, makes his hair go from a bun that's right here to barely shoulder length hair. It's not even shoulder length hair. It goes down to basically his chin.
Yep. But then it's the same thing where, Dada's trying to convince him that his son, he didn't kill his wife, that Castell did. And then right as Dimitri's leaving, he's like, "My son told me it was you," and just blows his head off. And then we get back to the opening scene of this movie.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, Dimitri still had to tell Seagal where to find Castell, right? That was this whole partnership, which is that he wasn't going to tell him until after he got Dada.
Yeah.
Or something, right? But then he just sends Seagal by himself. He just doesn't even care about Castell, even though Castell was instrumental in his wife being killed, right? Because he's the person that
he's the main
led the
guy.
raid,
I mean,
right?
yeah, he's the whole point of it. Yeah.
And so, okay, so now it's back at this again where Spenny said, or this movie starts, and it's this bar, and this scene is shot in a way that it's Seagal and this third partner, right, walking in, and then there's other henchmen that walk in behind him, and it's framed, and it looks like it's just shot on a game cam, right, that you'd stick in a tree and look at deer. Yeah. It looks like surveillance footage, which I guess makes sense because you later see Castell in this back room, again, behind this vault door that Seagal blows the frame out of. Mm-hmm. But Castell is eating a plate of spaghetti, looking at it's this desk with three old ass monitors, 2 keyboards, and no mouse. The 3 monitors have the exact same image on all of them.
Well, that was the best part.
2 keyboards and no fucking mouse.
This is so amazing. Because there's the shootout, like, in the place. And then you see the scene where the one guy just looks up, shotguns out the mirror, and he's like, oh, shit. And then immediately he's like,
down.
And then immediately puts his spaghetti on, and he's like, walks over. He's like, oh, do you think I have enough time to do a line of coke?
Yeah.
And that's when Seagal starts, shotgunning the whole door down.
Yeah. And then,
and this is, Castell and him get into the big fight. So this Castell actor is actually a martial artist as well. And he said that this is one of the only tidbits I could find. As he said, the reason that final scene was like so anticlimactic is because they just ran out of time. So they had to just do a quick fight. So you just see
it's just Seagal just kicking ass. Right?
Yeah, except they keep showing that Castell has blood on him, but it literally looks like just someone sharted on his face. It's just gross. It's not even red. Did you see it? It had like specks in it and stuff.
I didn't see that. Oh my god!
And then he dies with his head gets blown off, and that also looks just like chili running down the wall. And it's just
so okay. The movie ends.
God,
the movie ends, and it's Seagal walking around in the park, and he goes and. It's Dimitri playing chess by himself, and up walks Seagal, moves one piece, and doesn't say anything. And Dimitri says, without looking up, the only person that could beat me in one move must be a genius mastermind. I know those hands. You must be Agent Bobby or something. It's like, this is the dumbest shit. Now, if you think about what Dimitri was doing, he was playing chess against himself, right?
Yes.
And so it's not that hard to imagine a scenario where if you're playing against yourself in something, you're going to give one side an advantage, right? And probably just set up a checkmate.
Yeah.
Right? That Seagal just walked up and just moved a random piece. Mm-hmm. And he's just calling him this brilliant tactician, which what had he done to earn that?
I don't know, man.
Degree. It just makes no sense. And then, okay, to capstone this movie, Seagal says to Dimitri, again, this Russian oligarch, drug lord, massively wealthy, rich, powerful person.
I think it's time for you to go home.
I think it's time for you to go home. Here's a parting gift. Hands him 2 coach tickets to Russia. He gives him 2 plane tickets to go back to Russia, and one for him, one for his son. And Dimitri's like, huh, funny you should say this. I was actually going to go there on my jet. You know, I kind of have a jet. I don't know what I'm going to do with these coach tickets. But Seagal is a cop and gave plane tickets to one of the richest people he's ever going to meet ever.
Lord.
And I don't know. And then they're like, oh, we're both honorable. You know, you're honorable. Thanks for doing this.
Blah, and then, blah, blah.
But what happened to this literally the night before when Seagal says, you're kind of a gangster. We shouldn't be seen together. And then they're just together in the park out in the open.
Totally.
And he booked plane tickets in Dimitri's name.
Well, to be fair, you know, Seagal he's retiring.
Oh yeah, he's retiring.
He's going to go somewhere warm.
He finally got the bad guy, which he didn't know about until 2 weeks ago.
Dimitri was the bad guy he was trying to get, but
yeah, it just flipped to Costello halfway through the movie. There's nothing personal about Costello, right?
No,
for Seagal.
That's just, I mean, yeah, that's it, man. That was the movie.
Yeah, that's. We were texting each other.
Throw it away.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
This is the ascension of ascensions.
We've dealt out some ascensions here. And
yeah, I think it was funny because I think like early on in the podcast we talked about, we should rescore our whatever our things have based on like 2 to ascensions. But I think teaser for next week, I think we are gonna ascension rank our ascensions.
Yes.
So tune in for that.
Yes, I think that'll be a special segment because that will be the last episode of the year 2022. Right. So it'll be a kind of a year wrap up episode. And kind of we'll revisit our past ascensions, maybe highlight some moments. But yeah, crown a victor for the ascension.
Crown a victor for the worst of the year.
So I assume you gave that an ascension as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I texted you that it was probably the worst thing we've ever seen.
Yep.
And it was.
Easy.
Yep.
Well, speaking of next week, what are we going to end the year on?
We were talking about 35? We were talking about this earlier, and I had one in mind, but I think I am going to change my mind on it. And I think we've done a lot of really bad movies. I think I want to try. I don't know if this will be a good one or not. So I'm kind of nervous. But I think we should do The Man Who Killed Hitler and then Bigfoot.
Okay.
And I got called out on this. My aunt recommended this, and I got a Christmas card in the mail with a PS on the back of the card saying I still haven't heard the review for this. So here it comes. This is the review.
Last episode of 2022. Not the last episode of season 1, so it's not that climactic, but last one of 2022. Episode 35, The Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
That's right. So
we'll
see how
it's
it goes.
Up our alley.
Yeah, it sounds right. As always, this is the Ascension to 10 podcast. You can find us on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then you can find us on YouTube at the Ascension to 10 podcast. Make sure you like, review, and subscribe, all those fun stuff for the YouTube, and then make sure you subscribe so you can get notified on the new ones coming out on Wednesdays.
Yeesh.
Those. Well, we try to. And I don't know, what else? Anything else?
I think that's it.
Patreon.com. Make sure you support us on Patreon. That's links in our description as well.
If you want
that always
to.
helps
No
us
pressure.
support. Yep. No, lots of pressure. Please do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's JAD, I'm Spenny.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Ascension to 10.